and more people moved away than moved into our county last year. And that's just about double what it was the year before.
There's been no shortage of articles and videos talking about the mass exodus happening in California. A lot of people are leaving, and that number doesn't seem to be going down. And despite that, I didn't really think I would be one of those people. But yet, things changed. Seven years ago now, I came to San Diego with 2 suitcases and no return ticket. I grew my business to an income level I'd never imagined would be possible for a girl like me. And things looked great on paper, and I felt grateful. But I was also really burnt out. After 3 years of constant hustle and 100-hour work weeks, it was a lot. I needed space to heal, to rediscover myself. Entrepreneurship felt really lonely. I needed community. I was hoping moving to San Diego would do that for me. And I was right. These last 7 years living in San Diego have been more than I could have imagined and hoped for. I truly thrived here. I went from completely burnt out, constant panic attacks, and at my highest weight ever, to learning how to find my own worth without my business, learning how to enjoy myself again, and to heal my relationship with my body. And I was able to release all my excess weight. My business thrived. I found a better way of growing so I didn't have to do all the things I hated with constant sales calls, constant live streams, constant social media posts. I was able to grow my business to a new income level while working like sometimes 5 to 10 to 20 hours a week. It was amazing. And yet, after 7 years here, staying just no longer made sense. So there were business reasons for why we decided to leave and also personal ones. So the business reasons are probably quite obvious. Number one, the taxes. And honestly, I don't mind paying taxes if I can see that good things are actually done with it, but I don't really think that's the case in the US personally, and definitely not in California. And before you go in the comments, please know I'm not trying to make this a political thing. I am not a political person. I'm an independent, and I really don't want to talk about the details of that. But there's no surprise, taxes in California are really freaking high. Even though I work with a really great tax strategist, I still have to pay a lot into payroll and state taxes, and the worst thing is I don't really know where it's going. There's so many potholes in San Diego, they never seem to be getting fixed. It's just getting worse and worse since there's been more rain in San Diego. And we have a growing homeless problem that's really getting out of control, and it makes me feel unsafe just walking around downtown San Diego even during the day. And because my goal is to continue growing the business and therefore making more money, that means I'm gonna have to pay even more in taxes, and I just don't really feel excited about what's being done with those taxes. Number two, it is just not the same. A huge reason why I moved from Chicago, New York, and into San Diego is because of community. I was feeling really lonely in New York. I felt like I was alone all the time, building my business, working from home. And I knew a few people that lived in San Diego who wanted me to come and move. And I was met with the most incredible entrepreneur community in the coaching space, course creation space. So I felt like it was perfect. I felt just so connected to my people. Since 2020, things started to shift dramatically and people started to move out. Before you know it, a few years go by and I feel like I only have like a small handful of friends left when I used to know like so many people, and it's just not the same. Number three are rental and housing costs. So back in like 2017, 2018 and onwards, I paid for a private office in a specific co-working space and for a 2-bedroom apartment in a luxury high-rise in downtown San Diego, beautiful, brand new, beautiful views. And I was able to pay like less than $3,000-ish a month, which I was very happy with. And I remember when my now husband and I were moving in together in 2020, we wanted to move into a bigger place so I could have my own office. We found a really beautiful brand new townhome in an incredible community, very close to all the things, and we were able to find it for $37.50 a month, which is still on the higher end comparing to other cities out there. But I was thrilled because I was like, well, it's a stunning place. It's like a very large property and I was very happy with it. But then just 2 years later, they wanted us to pay like $6,000 a month for rent, which is like, are you serious? When we moved to a different place, we had to pay considerably more, $4,000 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment in an apartment building. And when I was seeking out and asking about getting a private office so I can have that space for myself, now I was getting quoted, what I used to get quoted, $600 for a private office. Now it was like $1,500, $2,000, $2,500. Just like, what is going on? And we've also been wanting to buy a home, but as soon as we were ready, the housing boom happened and homes that were going for like $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 were now suddenly going for like 1.5, 1.6, 2 million just a few years later, and they have not gone down since. For the type of home we would like to live in, which is like a nice place in a nice area, 1.5, 2 million, I'm just like, and you would think that for homes that are in the prices that they are in San Diego, all the school systems would be amazing. The truth is that's not the case. You're still paying $1 million for a home, and then you have to send your kid to a school that's like not that great. And of course, on top of that, all the cost of living in general, groceries, food prices, personal care services, and honestly, the price just kind of creeps up on you until you go to a state that has a much cheaper price. Like when we came to Colorado, I was like, gas is $2.90, $2.60, what? And lastly, it's the lack of seasons. So this one is actually like a half truth. The weather is pretty perfect in San Diego, and to be honest, I know I'm gonna miss it because it's amazing. But I can't help but wonder if going back to 4 seasons would be also really great. I have a lot of fond memories playing in the snow and collecting fall leaves, and you're able to be more grateful and appreciative of the weather that you do get when you have 4 seasons. The interesting thing about not having seasons is I feel like the entire year kind of blends together. It's a little bit more monotonous as well, where before you know it, it's like years have gone by, but you can't really tell because the weather stayed kind of the same for the most part. And I do feel like the last 7 years that I've been in San Diego, I think about it and I'm like, I feel like it all kind of blends together. Whereas when I lived in Chicago or New York, I feel like the time there's like specific sections for each season. So there's different joys and amazing things you can do in each season, but it also is very clear about like, okay, the year has ended. So I don't know if I'm actually going to enjoy being in all seasons. I might very much miss and want to go back to the perfect weather, but I want to see how it is, and I want to see how it is being in that scenario and that environment again. So that's what we're doing. And we have moved to Colorado. So this is where our new journey begins. We'll keep you updated.